For anyone who's following along with the TA, Pete's rebellious child by default system. And so, the teacher said, well, you're not coming in my class. And that didn't put him off because that's what he wanted to do. I jolly well am. So he went the next year. It was sad that he had to wait that extra year. But yeah, he still did it. Whereas I was completely different at school. The teachers told me things and I believed them because I was an adapted child. I believed what that parent or adult figure told me. And that was their way of teaching then. There weren't too many strokes handed out. You got told what was wrong, but not necessarily what was right, what was good. Yeah, and I look back at those reports and there was quite a lot of good work. So when we talk about strokes, and last week we talked about being kind to ourselves, that unit of recognition, that being kind to ourselves. It's a good word, isn't it, stroking? How often we can stroke others, but how maybe we don't stroke ourselves. And when we think about self-doubt, what we need to do is stroke ourselves. But we're not giving ourselves those strokes. We're not telling ourselves, like I've just told myself, your school report's okay. There's some very good bits in it. No, I wasn't told that. I was told about the bits that weren't in it. I didn't know how to self-stroke and say, well, I'm not doing too bad. I didn't know how to do that then. And of course, comparison is the thief of joy. I probably compared myself to the teachers were doing that for me, weren't they? You're fourth in the class or you're sixth in the class. It was all very much, you all had to get either 1, 2 or 3 out of the whole lot. If we had a test, you had to become 1, 2 or 3 or it didn't count. Well, it stands to reason. If there's a class of you, you can't all become 1, 2 or 3, can you? You might have become 23, but still with a jolly good mark. But we weren't stroked in that way. So what we need to do is accept strengths in ourselves. And constant reassurance doesn't mean much if we don't look at our strength, if we don't stroke ourselves, if we don't acknowledge what we've got. I mean, we don't have to go around doing this and doing that, do we? It's not that kind of thing. It's about recognizing our strengths, acknowledging them. Yeah, self-stroking. And then when we want to reassure ourselves, we can draw on that. And that will help with any self-doubts that we've got. So positive strokes are good, but negative strokes are good too when you think about it. If we give children positive strokes the whole time, they don't learn. I mean, if we just say, when they chuck their carrots on the floor, oh, never mind. No, we need to say, don't do that again. That's not kind. That's not nice. I've got to clear all that up. That's naughty. Please don't do that. Yeah. They've got to learn. Otherwise, they know that in themselves. And then what you're teaching them doesn't add up with what they know about themselves. They know that's not right. And if you say, oh, never mind, that's okay, then they really do become confused. Raising children on just positive strokes doesn't help. And it's the same for us. We need those negative strokes too. Negative conditionals, they can help flag things up. Or did you know that your shirt's dirty? Oh, right, I didn't notice. Thank you, I'll change it. Without that negative conditional, we wouldn't be able to move on. It helps us. I can't stand you. Somebody says that. Well, it's positive in a way. It's a negative, unconditional. But we can use that as well because we can think, well, I'm going to withdraw from you. I'm not going to be your friend anymore. we're going to look after ourselves. So we can use those negative, even negative unconditionals. And also, what people often give out is the negative. You're late. They don't often say, oh, it's nice, I'm glad you're on time, it's really helpful. Yeah, positive conditional. We don't give out too many of those, do we? And it's helpful if we do. So there's a little bit more about strokes and how they can help. How we can help ourselves by recognizing our strengths. And so we can draw when we need reassurance. We can reassure ourselves if we've recognized that. Don't compare yourself to others. That's the thief of joy. And so with those reassurances, we can stroke ourselves when we need that. So I'll leave it there.